Alright, playing another game of Tasigur and Commander. Giving all the old GLF HF. It seems pretty good. Against Sliver Queen. So if this is another Slivers match, then we're looking to stay alive. And it's a good thing that I put some mass removal in my deck. I think we do know what we're looking for, so preordained's probably fine. I think both of these cards are pretty fine. We get both of them next turn, so it doesn't really matter. No. So he's just playing a 5-color deck. Interesting. See if we can essence scatter something. If not, we do the mental note and we play Tasigur probably next turn. You got it. Counterspell. Daze. So if we Satyr Wayfinder, probably should have waited to find a land. Do we want Windswept? Yeah, let's go with Windswept Heath. Alright, we still have a Daze. Not the best. I'm not a pro. I mostly played a lot of multiplayer Commander. I enjoy multiplayer Commander. I just yesterday decided to try out this format. I did have a bunch of cards already for multiplayer Commander. A lot of the expensive ones, so I thought it was a good opportunity. Oh, that's not good. Alright. And so it does, single player Commander cost a lot more to get into than multiplayer Commander. The first deck that I tried to assemble had a lot of cards that even I didn't have yet, like Jace Vryn's Prodigy and the new Chandra that's still quite expensive, and there were a few others, and there were a bunch of $20 cards that I did have, including all the lands. The lands are pretty expensive. You can get into multiplayer Commander pretty inexpensively, but regular Commander, this version of Commander is not cheap. I think I don't care about the Satyr Wayfinder. So either I get 1 damage on Nahiri or it dies, and I get 4 damage on Nahiri. Alright, I get 4 damage on Nahiri. Gets to exile my Tasigur, but not a lot I could do about that. But like Force of Will is kind of a mandatory card in this format. Do I? Oh, I should have maybe Upkeep stopped and thought about Cyclonic Rift. It's probably not correct. Anyways, if he wants to kill my Tasigur, that's fine. Multiplayer Commander, you can have a lot of fun in that format for not a lot of money. You can even, especially if you have friends that play that are willing to play budget multiplayer Commander, where you like have a $20 limit. That can be a lot of fun. and you know there's other people online that you can find that'll play $20 commander and that kind of stuff. Maybe the commander will be like, you know, you can pay however much you want for the commander, but the rest of the deck's got to be $20 or less. And there's Penny Dreadful, where the cards are all a penny, including the commander. And there's other formats like that. And you can have a lot of fun in that format, even if you don't have a great deck. And this format, you kind of need planeswalkers and other things like that otherwise you're probably not going to have too much fun. So, but I'm surprised at how much I play in paper more. My friends don't want to buy cards online and in paper. Yeah, I think $20 commander is pretty fun. Let's go after Nahiri. See if he lets his Ethereum Sculptor die. He does. And then let's play Windswept Heath. Yeah, I think Magic Online is a lot cheaper than paper Magic. There are some exceptions, but in general, Magic Online is quite a bit cheaper than the paper Magic. In Commander multiplayer, at least, you have to stay away from a lot of the really good standard Lego cards, like those, you know, like the new Chandra. You're probably not going to play that in 1v1 Commander. You kind of have to, and you know, like Torrential Gear Hulk is another one that's pretty good in this format, but you probably wouldn't play in multiplayer Commander because it's like a $20 card. And you can slowly build up all the cards that you have. I bought my I think these dual lands were well worth it, and so I bought them slowly over time. You know, I spend about $40 a month on Magic, so you know, I don't think that's too bad. I actually don't spend that much on it, and I mean, it's taken me a few years, but I've gotten some really good decks as a result. And now I think people look at my decks and say, "Wow, you're spending a lot for multiplayer Commander," and that's not necessarily the case. I've been doing it for a while. But getting into this format is pretty cost prohibitive. But getting into some of the other formats, not so much. I think multiplayer Commander is a lot of fun. We'll play Tasigur. Oops. Guess we just need one. Got rid of his Nahiri. Kept his Sliver Queen off the board. You can have a Signet. This is tournament preparation. I'm getting pretty close. I've gotten a really good feel for this deck. And so, do I want to daze this and get rid of his Sphere Suns or counterspell it? I think counterspell it. It gets him 2 more cards. He's down to 1 card. Sure, I'll pull that up in a minute. I do have a list for it. I also made a video of me making the deck, and I'm gonna post that on YouTube. If you go to look up my full name is Jamin Vanderberg. If you look that up, but it's probably easier to just look up my first name, Jamin, Jamin, Commander, and I just started a YouTube channel a few days ago. There's already quite a few 1v1 Commander games on there, because it's pretty quick to play these and post them. I'll put the Tasigur, the building of the deck, up there too. I put another Sirach deck that I built. I really just jammed a bunch of really good cards that I already had. I picked up a couple new cards, but I didn't have a bunch of tickets. So I was mostly just playing with the cards I had. Oh, do it on YouTube. And that should pop something up. Like I said, I haven't yet pulled up the task, or I haven't posted the Tasigur me building it list yet. But I will probably tomorrow, and I'll show you the deck as well. And I'll probably put the a text file of the deck itself in the description. Just countering everything. This has got to be a little bit frustrating for him. Yeah, I don't know about Arcane Denial. You might be right. I don't know if it's worth being in the deck at all. But you kind of need a critical mass of counter spells. And so it's been pretty good so far, honestly. There are quite a few times where, I mean, right now it looks pretty bad because he's getting 2 cards when he's down to 0. So I don't know if that was the best play in the world. I am looking to get damage in, though. But there are other times where I'm more than happy to trade 1 card for 2. It usually benefits me more. So I don't know. In the history, Arcane Denial has been pretty good. This one, you're probably right. Commandeer would probably be pretty good. I think that discarding 2 cards is pretty expensive. The Baral decks do play a lot of control magic type effects. Treachery is a pretty common one in this format, and there are a few others. I'm not really playing any. I'm looking to destroy creatures. Can he cast his commander around my counter spells? Distended Mindbender. You choose from it a non-land card. Alright. I'm just going to let that happen. Does the chat look alright on the game board? Does it get in the way of anything or anything like that? Do I need to move it? I could probably just have a chat beside the game instead of on top of the game. That might be a little bit better. Kind of ominous, the font. Oh yeah, because it's got to have the black backdrop. And then, so he made me discard cards. So like they go into my graveyard. So that's kind of funny. I guess I get Spell Pierce here. Or Arcane Denial. Yeah, Spell Pierce. So it looks like he's like a big mana deck. Well, Mana Leak at least stops the Sliver Queen. not sure he's in a position where he can really... training grounds. That's actually, yeah, you might have a good point. That's interesting. I'd prefer if it were good with something else as well. Like if there were more synergies in the deck. I don't think there really are. I'm trying to think of other synergies. I do get Tasigur out a lot, so I guess that probably is worth it right there. Do you attack? Yeah, I don't think you're in a position to attack right now. Usually I get quite a bit of value just from the 4 mana effect. My Brainstorm's pretty good. Not going to complain about Oh, no. Yeah, Brainstorm. Trying to decide. I think Arcane Denial is probably the answer. Although that does kind of show its strength that he doesn't want to give me Arcane Denial right now. Because it's a hard counter, and it's cheap, and that's its real advantage. Like, there is a downside, and that has to be considered, but it's so cheap. Alright, got life from the loan back. Well, those are good cards. Let's get rid of this land. Play the Bloodstained Mire. I don't know if I play the Whip. I probably don't play the Whip. I'm not sure the Whip is... I've had one time where it was really, really good because somebody got me down to like 7 life and almost killed me, and then the Whip brought me back. I'm not sure it's worth it in this deck. It's probably a card I can cut. But in lieu of showing you a deck list right now, I will say the principle of this deck is that you just jam a bunch of counter spells and removal. I prefer the creature or planeswalker removal to just standard too much creature removal, because some decks just don't play many creatures. And so you don't want to get stuck with a bunch of removal that you can't use. And I've had a few times. Yeah, I don't think I have enough to make it worthwhile. Like, I've literally never reanimated something with it. So I've only used the life gain effect, and all your creatures gain lifelink for 4 mana. I don't think that's worth it. So this is above my... I think he gets around my counter spells with this. We'll let it go. We still have 3 mana in the air. Alright, we gotta sack this. It doesn't get us anything, so I guess we'll get the fetid pools. And then we'll activate Tasigur once. Because he has enough mana to pay for it. So I just throw 2 spells at it, and then nothing happens. He gets the Sliver Queen anyways. Yeah. I mean, I'm not looking to attack on the ground anymore anyways. He might start causing me some problems. I always have this reset button right here. If I have to. At least it keeps Glenelendra. So I get Notion Thief back. That's interesting. Alright. little bit late for As Foretold. Do we play it anyways, or do we play the Whip? There's nothing in my grave. Oh, there's Venser. You're right. You're right. Glenn Leonard would not stick around. So. Is this only as a sorcery? So. Yeah, it's only as a sorcery too. Like, it's just not a good card. In this deck, it's fun, but it's not great in this deck. Do I bounce his guy anyways? We at least wait a turn. I probably should have played As Foretold. Yeah, see these 1/1 slivers aren't doing a lot right now. When he gets a critical mass, they might be a problem. So let's see what happens. He's probably he's down to 0 cards. So I guess it's his only option. So he could make me take 12, 13 damage. No, not even. If he attacks with these creatures, I gain life. These little slivers. So I could just throw away a Notion Thief to save 7 life and gain 3. I don't think it's worth it. You think I should block with Tasigur? I don't. Yeah, he's really good. I have lost a couple games with him, but I think I'm at least 75%. And his ability is just nuts. You really want to get me to Fairy? I don't think that's right, but okay. What are you casting? I mean, it's got to be an instant, right? Unless you're sacking Blighted Cataract. Like, okay. You got it. I'm not sure that was the right time to do it. Like, I was wondering. I was wondering if I need to Wrath this turn, and now I think that I do not. Metamorph is interesting. I could make my own Sliver Queen. I think we attack in game. Well, do we? He can make 1, 2, 3, just enough to kill Tasigur. I'm gonna pay 2 life to make a Sliver Queen. That makes his attacks awful. I can play Teferi end a turn. So that's what I was thinking. I need to get rid of some of the cards in my hand. You might be right. I mean, I could have played them all end a turn, but then I would have had to discard 2 cards. Now I'm discarding 1. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely want to keep Mana Leak open. And Sliver Queen was cheap. The Metamorph was really, really cheap. So that's why I decided to play that one. So I think his attacks are really bad right now. I don't have a link to the list right now. I'll have to set one up. I'm going to show the list after this game. Does it do anything? The whip is actually looking pretty good right now. I think that is the exception, not the rule. I think the whip is pretty bad, and it probably shouldn't be in this deck. But right now, it's looking pretty good. Well, that is a card that I do not want around. And there's not a lot I can do about it. I don't think he's gonna... I mean, I can leave Baleful Strix back, and I don't think he can remove it. I do have a few things I can do about it. I guess we'll play Teferi over getting cards back. I'm pretty sure at this point he just gives me bad cards. So we're not going to get Life from the Loam back. So DC's interesting. I don't have to play anything on my turn unless I want to Venser the Hellkite. That's probably pretty good. I don't hate that. Spencer's just gonna die anyway, so might as well gain 2 life from him. I think that's kind of the point of the whip. Alright, he's down to 8, I'm down up to 25. It's a little bit of both. It's mostly good stuff. Not gonna lie. There are some good delve and graveyard interactions. I put in Animate Dead and a couple good creatures, hoping to reanimate them. I have Eternal Witness, and quite a few other ways to get things back from the graveyard. But they're all like really good things. I think, by the way, Notion Thief is probably another card that's not very good. There were a few cards at the last, the last 5 or 6 cards. I'm like, I'm just going to try a few cards out. And that's how Whip of Erebos ended up in my deck, and Notion Thief. And I already cut a couple that were, I had the blue-black Consecrated Sphinx, but when you draw land, I can't think of its name right now. I cut that and I put Teferi in its place. You think it's underplayed? I don't know if it's very good in this deck. It might just be that I just don't have enough creatures to make it worthwhile. It's looking really good right now. But I've had a lot of times where it hasn't been very good. Yeah. I understand. Let's go with... Sidisi? I don't have to play Sidisi on my turn, though. But I have to discard if I don't... I don't think he has any attacks. But I don't have attacks, and he's down to 9 life, unless I play Sidisi on my turn. I just cut Reclamation Sage, and Reclamation Sage would probably be better than Crow's Grip right now. I don't know if I have a cheaper removal spell. I could just get Murderous Cut and kill it. That's cheaper? We'll go the Murderous Cut route. Kill this Steel Hellkite. Get rid of a bunch of lands, Life in the Loam, what else? Oh, that's all. I probably should have focused on other cards I didn't want to get back from Tasigur. No, I didn't even notice Metalwork Colossus in there. Alright, you can have a Metalwork Colossus, I guess. Yeah, the lifelink has always been the best part. There's like... I mean, the reanimating Venser was just okay. And it's the only time I've ever reanimated anything with that card. So I don't think it's especially good. But the lifelink looks really good. I don't know if there's a... It's probably like the only card that just gives all your creatures lifelink. So it's alright for that. But again, I'm not sure, like, this is an exception where I have a lot of creatures in play. Well, that's pretty cheap, huh? It still doesn't have flying or trample or anything like that. So do I activate Tasigur? There's a lot of good stuff. There's a couple bad things. We'll activate Tasigur. I don't think I need tokens. And I still get to keep Glenolindra open. I think Arcane Denial is probably my worst card right now. Everything else looks pretty good. Oh, he can't actually do anything as an instant anyway, so I don't know why I was worried about Glenolindra. You want to give me a Murderous Cut back? Alright. Yeah, oh, is there a leak in my... Oh, I've had it in my hand the whole time, yeah. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's really bad. Leak is like that. So he's at 7. I guess we get in with our flyers. guess we play as foretold. I don't have to do anything else really. So as foretold looks pretty bad right now. I've had some times where it's absolutely bonkers. Those are usually when it's played early in the game. I drew it really late. I could have Notion Thief that. I think that's probably a little greedy to Notion Thief it. Search the library for an artifact. What are you getting? What are you getting? Chroma's Memorial? That would actually be pretty good. Although it's a non-creature spell. A non-creature spell. So like either it's a creature, in which case I murderous cut it, unless it's indestructible. Or it's a non-creature, in which case I counter it. Sphinx. Just put in your graveyard from the battlefield. Alright, well I can't return that as an instant, so like it goes back onto his, oh, and it gets Cascade. That's pretty good. I guess that's a way you can try to get around all this, although you can't Cascade. Your Cascade does not resolve with Teferi in play. That's kind of funny. Cascade doesn't resolve. Is he realizing that? Oh, and I win. Okay. GG. All right, that was an interesting one. That was grindy.